All right, fellas, like Andy mentioned, too big for one. So here's the second half. Hope you like it, guys. Hope it's still wet.
Bring the Vaseline. So let's go to our final question for this extended podcast we have here. And this one comes from Eddie. I'm sorry, not Eddie, Eduardo Silva. He sent it to us January 23rd of this year. So we're in the new year now, finally. And he sent us this long and thorough questionnaire here, guys. So let me read it out to you guys. Hey, fellas, I know it took a bit, but I'm finally getting back and able to catch up on the FFN podcast. Always interesting in hearing them. A couple of suggestions for topics on the next one. So here comes the questions, guys. So he writes, one, snowstorms. Are you snow blowing, using a snowblower or shoveling? So overall, I generally use a snowblower. Do you feel I like going the old school way? And I don't know if you guys think if you guys like to shovel or you like using the snowblower, or do you just hire a kid from the neighborhood?
Well, like if I had a choice, obviously snowblower is the way to go for convenience, but shoveling has a little bit of its benefits too. You know, if you don't have a snowblower, then what you have really no choice. You're just gonna have to shovel it. And there's benefits in that, you know, working out. It's gotta be a little bit rewarding too to like look at the driveway and like be like, damn, I did that shit. I didn't even rely on some machine to get it done.
Right over here with us, we don't even have a snowblower, so I don't even got that option. So it's shoveling all the way. But it's not because I'm against it. Man, if somebody wants to help and donate me a snowblower, for sure, man, I'll use it, and then I'll be one of those snowblower guys. But I gotta be honest, man, those really bad snowstorms. I'm glad I got this guy, his number that shovels the area, the neighborhood driveways if it gets really bad. So I call him up, and then I just throw him, a $30 or $40, and then he shovels the driveway and all the sidewalks. So yeah, I'm kind of getting at that age where if I got $30-$40 laying around and I don't feel like shoveling 4 inches of snow, I'll just call this guy over to come do it.
Have you seen the videos? Maybe investing in like a snow or a flamethrower just to melt all that away. I know we have all seen that video on the internet of the snow just melting away.
Yeah, I don't know how efficient that is. I mean, how much are you going to have to spend on that gas tank, you know?
I mean, just run it off of propane. I think you'd be all right. It can't be that much. And they'll do it like pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm thinking my luck, I'll probably blow myself up there. It's bad enough that if I'm shoveling, I could probably have a heart attack. I don't want to be, blowing myself to bits.
So what do you think? Having the heart attack is worse or blowing yourself up? What's a better death, Danny?
Well, Fred Sanford survived plenty of heart attacks, so I think I'll lean towards the heart attack.
You're looking to trying to survive.
Right.
What about this $1 million idea? Heated driveways.
I think some states even do that. And I live pretty close to Oak Park, and Oak Park actually has some heated streets where the streets melt because underneath the brick cobblestone or whatever it is that they use, there's actually heaters that melt the snow and keep the streets clean. It's really cool.
Yeah, I know some countries. I think Iceland has it. They use like geothermal energy to like heat the roads.
Geothermal energy.
Man, that sounds fancy.
Yeah, they live just on top of a volcano or something like that.
Shit.
The fuck wants to live on something that's gonna blow up?
Shit, man. Like pretty much half of the western United States is gonna blow up someday. Hopefully not for a long time, but
they're gonna fall into the ocean. That's what I heard.
Well, Yellowstone, bro. You haven't heard about Yellowstone coming up?
Yeah, I've heard that one.
I don't know if it's gonna be soon, but it'll be someday. That's for sure.
All right. So we all in agreement. We all prefer shoveling. All right.
Right. I know my dad. He really, well, at least with me, I can't speak for my other brothers, but he was super strict with me as far as the shoveling. He wanted it done right edge to edge, all the way up to the grass. And he kind of saw it as, a clean driveway is a shown of discipline and respect that, you keep your house in order. So it was something that was always ingrained to me. And now, unfortunately, I got to ingrain it into Junior by conversations or by force, whichever he'd like to take.
I don't think he's going to like either out of those two options. It doesn't sound favorable that he's going to do either.
Yeah. I always tell him for all of life's lessons, there's the easy way or there's the hard way.
Just teach him like Miyagi, dude. Tell him it's a Taekwondo lesson or something.
Right.
So there you go, Eddie. We have Eduardo. We prefer shoveling. Let's go ahead to the next one. Like I said, this is a long questionnaire he sent us. The other one, he writes, going into, you're talking about your son, Danny. He says, thoughts on teaching responsibility and hard work, or if it's not a big issue. Well, obviously, hard work pays off. That's how I was raised. What do you guys think?
Yeah, like I'm not a parent myself, so it's like I really can't say. But definitely, like if I had for my nephews and my niece, like if they came to me and they asked me like about stuff like this, I'd be like, yeah, you need to be responsible. You need to work hard. But in terms of like what was taught to me, yeah, definitely my parents instilled in me that you got to work hard for everything you get. And anything worth getting requires hard work and dedication.
Right. And if just telling them wasn't enough, con el cinto, a huevo, you learn it.
It didn't happen too often, to be honest. Just the stern warning was enough, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you kind of lucked out, Noel, because you were the youngest. And I think by your time, my parents had learned everything already. So they're like, all right, we're going to get it right with Noel. But us, we were all the prototypes, to kind of learn off of.
The beta test.
Right.
It's always, you guys, your family's always in beta testing. So your dad's
right.
just constantly beating you guys so you guys can learn.
You guys came out all right.
Yeah, not too bad.
So overall, I think, we all know hard work pays off. Responsibility is, I think, one of the harder things in life because it's so hard to be responsible. And, your responsibilities obviously change as you get older. From when you're a kid to an adult, which kind of sucks. But, I think hard work is the better of the two, right? Final thoughts, Danny, on that, or we're good?
No, man. Let's jump on to the next one here.
All right. So he has to get for everybody, all our fans out there. Eddie just likes using the snowblower. He writes, but he's asking us. He knows that we have a couple movie buffs here on Freeform Radio, and like we've talked about in the past, he wants to know our thoughts on some of the latest movies that we talked about, and which we basically discuss in every podcast. And he is asking us what are our thoughts on the Golden Globe winners and the nominations. And me and Noel kind of talked about it in the last podcast. Any thoughts on them, Danny? I don't know how much you watched the Oscars. What did you think of the nominations that came out?
Yeah, you kind of ask about the Golden Globes and Oscars, but to be honest, I don't really watch those award shows. And Alana's not really into it too much either. So, it's never been something really hot in our house. I do like watching the news or watching some of the headlines the next day to kind of see who was the winners, if anybody made themselves a fool and fell off of the stage. But other than that, I really don't put too much interest in the awards themselves. I know this year, this guy who played Bohemian Rhapsody, he fell off the stage after he won his award.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but he
I
fell
did
off the
not.
stage after he won his award. But surprisingly, there's no video of it. I'm surprised nobody recorded it or they weren't recording. I guess it was during the commercial or something. But yeah, I guess he fell down. They had to call the ambulance and paramedics and come over and check him out. But I guess he was fine, and he made a couple jokes about it.
Real quick, Danny. Sorry, Noel. One of the movies you saw won an Oscar. The best animated movie is that Into the Spider-Verse. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Like I mentioned, I didn't really watch it, so usually the news headlines are just people making themselves a fool. So no, I didn't hear about that, but it is a very good movie. Recommended for anybody who's into animation, comic books. It's a great watch for sure.
Yeah, we discussed it on a previous podcast, so check that episode out.
Are you into the Oscars, Andy?
I was. It's just when I guess I'm more. I don't watch it no more, but I do like seeing who won to see if some of these movies have won, and I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody. And some of the top movies this year, like the Green Book or whatever, and we talked about a little bit about Black Panther, and the one with the indigenous woman from Mexico, and there was some controversy in Mexico by some other actors that were like criticizing her. There's
what's the name of that one? Ramona or
Mona, and people were saying it's like
Right.
a super indie film. Like it was, they were basically shitting on the production. And,
better than Clerks or what?
I think it was just more because it had Hispanic people or Mexican people. People were shitting on it. I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. So that's why I'm saying, like, and it's a Netflix movie. There's a whole nother controversy if Steven Spielberg is saying if Netflix movies should be nominated for Academy Awards.
Damn.
He's going to they have like this guild, and he's saying any movie that Netflix releases is a TV movie. They're not even following the rules to be considered for to be an Oscar nominated film, which one of the rules is you have to
have a theatrical
release for 90 days. And what Netflix does is they release it here and there for like a month or something, and then they're like, yeah, it had its run, I'll watch it, and then they plugged Netflix to go watch it there.
That makes sense, because when you release straight to DVD or straight to VHS, back in the day, were those considered, or I guess they didn't meet the criteria, right?
Yeah, well, that's one of the things he's been pushing. I read an article about it because it's fucking Steven Spielberg. He's one of the greatest American directors, and
Like, make them squeal.
Yeah. Like, yeah, we're not gonna forgive you for Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull and shit.
Right.
You put them in a refrigerator and survived a nuclear explosion or some shit, right?
Right.
So, but getting back to him, he made valid points, and I kind of see his point where Netflix is, I'm imagining 99% of all them, they're watched on TV. Nobody's going to the theater to watch the Netflix movie, right? I mean, I don't know when's the last time you went to the theater to watch a Netflix movie, Danny or Noel.
No, I don't have Netflix, so I don't really.
You don't have Netflix? The fuck?
No, I use my other sources that I want to see. They ain't getting my money.
Wait, you still have Netflix or no, Danny?
I think I got it for like a few more weeks because I had a free month thing through my PlayStation Plus thing. So I have been watching Netflix, and to be honest, maybe the rules are for an older time. This is a digital age. Maybe the rules have to be massaged a little bit to kind of include stuff like this, stuff that's released digitally only. Just because it is an indie thing, it's something with a low budget. They're trying to release it straight to a digital format so that people could view it. So maybe the criteria needs to adjust to the new times.
I don't know. I still have mixed feelings on it. But I'm leaning more towards Spielberg. But man, maybe the times are changing. I mean, we talked about how I prefer watching movies here at my house because you control everything. You can pause it. We got high-end TVs. You got audio equipment like to get that experience to enjoy the movie more and try to get as much as you can to that theater experience at the comfort of your own home.
Man,
You
speak
don't gotta
for
deal
yourself,
with
Andy.
nobody.
I still got my CRTV, man.
Nah, man, that's the one you have in your bathroom. I know you got other high-end TVs around the house.
Oh man, I still got that tube TV that's heavy as hell that I can't get rid of because if I take it out into the street, the city's gonna charge me like $15 to dispose it. So I've been hanging on to it. But hey, Andy, you mentioned Bohemian Rhapsody. Have you said you haven't seen that yet?
Nah, dude, I wanted to see it, but
You're not a Queen fan or what?
nah, I mean, I'm not. I don't know, man. Like, I just don't want to see it.
What about you, Noel? Have you seen it?
No, I do have it ready to go, but I haven't seen it yet. I've heard good things though. Everybody I talk to, they just keep insisting I see it. So
I know Eddie, the gentleman who sent in this question. He is a big Queen fan, and he was looking forward to this movie. So it'd be interesting to see his review on it. And I just recently saw it like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like a lukewarm Queen fan. I knew they had a couple good hits, but it's kind of like the band Journey. I know they got a couple good hits, and I'm like a fan, but not a super serious fan. But when I saw the movie and I saw their story, it really made me appreciate the band Queen a lot more and appreciate a lot of their good hits that they got, man. So it's a really cool movie for the music alone, but then just for the story as well. It was really good. So people who haven't seen it, you got to go out there and catch it.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the nominated movies that came out, none of them, the Green Book, the Beale Street one, like it was just too they're too artsy for me, and I don't want to see them.
yeah, I heard really good things about Green Book. I didn't mind that it won Best Picture of the year. I mean, if you really look at everything that was there, what else would you really choose? I know it brought a lot of controversy that it won Best Picture, but yeah, that's exactly why I don't really watch the Oscars that much anymore. It's just gotten too political, and it's all about the left versus the right, conservative versus like liberal, and it's just I'm over all that, man. Like I just want to watch movies and enjoy them. I'm not trying to get all this politics shit. But
Oh, you're not trying to get into the politics of Captain Marvel? I heard the last episode that I wasn't on about her hating guys, and now she doesn't want guys to go see the movie. You're not into those politics?
nah, dude, that's completely sexist. I believe in equality between the genders, and I believe that if you don't really need to single anybody out. Like she could have done it in a more tactful way. She could have just said, "Hey, I want this to be more diverse." She didn't have to say, "I want less white people and more other people." You could just be like, "Hey, can we open things up to more diverse audience?" That's fine with me. It's like, what's wrong with that? But when you say, "Can we open it up to more diverse audience and exclude white people?" It's like, what the fuck? Like that's reverse racism and reverse sexism when you say white males.
Oh, I didn't even hear the white part. I just heard the male thing. I didn't know
No, she
said
said
white.
she doesn't want. Well, you know how they do the press tour, I forgot what do they call it, where the reporters come to you and ask a billion fucking questions.
Right.
The press junkets or whatever. Well, they got her saying that she doesn't. She wants to see less white males and open it up to more diversity to like women or some goofy shit like that. And people just like, here we go, the social justice shit, and it turned off a lot of people, and and it went from there. We talked about it to some length in the last podcast, but
Right.
it's just
Right.
it's the mindset right now of targeting. I mean, the movies. I mean, you got to admit, some of a lot of the last movies, the popular culture movies like Star Wars and to extent some other Marvel movies and mostly Star Wars. And some even Star Trek the show. They shit they shit on guys mostly, especially white males. They're not the heroes they once were, and they're being portrayed as just bad people overall.
Right. To me, I'd like to think that she said this, and she just used poor choice of wording. I would hope, unless she really does hate white males.
No, she doubled down. She actually quadrupled down on all the
Oh,
stuff.
shit. Yeah?
She said, all right, somebody asked
Did
her
she
in an
say
interview.
eat a dick?
Damn.
Shit, man, maybe off camera. we have to get some like sneak peek recorders going, but what they interviewed her and they asked her how the training was, because everybody gets trained, like, all the actors, they get some kind of martial arts and stuff like that, right? So she's training like Taekwondo, who knows what else, Muay Thai probably. Anyway, judo as well, yeah. And somebody asked her, how does it, make her feel? And she says, oh, she has a complete different outlook on life. And she says, I can go down the street and I can see a guy, he's like wearing a green jacket or something. And I'm like, yeah, I could take him. I could throw him over and just beat the shit out of him kind of thing. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but if you watch the clip of it, she's pretty much saying like she's going down the street analyzing whether or not she can take a guy down, all because she had some training in martial arts. So what kind of mentality is that? Like, you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Would you say that? Would you say, oh yeah, I just trained in jiu-jitsu and I saw this girl down the street and I could probably just choke her out like nothing. It's like, why would you even say that,
Right. If it were to be a male saying that about a female walking down the street, people would be in an uproar. And to be honest, man, I know you guys talked about the subject, so I just want to give my quick take. I wasn't too excited about the movie, so I was gonna watch it, but maybe at my convenience whenever I had a chance. But after hearing the comments, I like I mentioned, I was hoping that she just used poor choice of wording. But if she in actuality feels this way, I don't know if I want to watch it. I'll probably just wait until the Avenger, like you guys mentioned, the next Avengers, and just kind of skip this one completely. Yeah. And from some of the previews and reviews that I've heard about it, it's getting a mixed review out there. So it'd be interesting to see what the Metacritic's going to be after its full release this weekend.
I can tell you right now, man, please do not watch it. And I'll summarize this real quick. Back a couple weeks ago, Rotten Tomatoes was getting a lot of negative reviews for Captain Marvel. Actually, not reviews. They have this little thing that you can put want to see. And when you click on it, it tells you the percentage of people that want to see it and the percentage of people that don't want to see it. Now there's only one button. They removed that feature because it went down to 24% or 23% that wanted to see it. That means 74% out of like 60,000 users did not want to see this movie. And this happened after she made those comments. So Rotten Tomatoes like sparked this even more controversy because they took away that feature and people started investigating. It looks like Rotten Tomatoes is actually associated with some film companies, and it actually brought out a big spreadsheet of like all these companies and websites and media companies that are pretty much bought and paid for. So Rotten Tomatoes has lost all credibility, which is why it's the only one that's given it 84% on Tomato Meter on Rotten Tomatoes. If you go to IMDb, it's 5.9 with 10,000 reviews. If you go to Metascore, like you were looking for the Metacritic, it's a 66. So it's an average movie at best. And it definitely put a big stain on Marvel's reputation.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to see the movie. I'm still deciding if I'm going to see it at the theater because I want to see what I want to see the content of what the movie says. I can't completely shit on it because some of the things she said, but I want to see how they portray it, because there are movies you see it, you right away know it's going to be an SJW flick, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? Like, can't we just have an action movie here? So but I'm glad this is one of the going off of one of the questions that we got from one of our fans. it's good to see that the movies, it's more than just like there you have your films and popcorn movies, and like it brings in debate, and it provides. I've always contended that movies provide social commentary, what's going on in this country, and to see we're starting to see that again in film, and a lot of people are not happy, and there's some people. It's the country split. Some people like it, some don't. That's why the movie like a Wonder Woman. I mean, to me, it was like all right, but a big, females, women like loved it because they saw an empowered woman take on the bad guy, and she really didn't. She had some help, but generally she did it by herself. And I think from that success, we spawned to where we are now with in the last Star Wars movie, women kind of taking the lead and the men being portrayed as just like dumbasses. And then you see some of that in some other movies, but it is a social commentary of what's going on right now, and that's why I'm holding back. I have my preconceived notions of what I'm gonna see, but I got to see it first before I completely shit on it.
No, Andy, I'll just shit on it right away.
Attaboy. There you go. That's our famous host Daniel right there, and Noel. Andy is staying in the middle for this controversy right here.
The thing is, like, I don't have anything against a female protagonist. Like, if you go back in time, man, there's a lot of like powerful females. You go to Terminator, you got Sarah Connor, you got Alien, you got freaking Sigourney Weaver kicking ass. There's been a lot of females. Game of Thrones has a bunch of like powerful females. I have no problem with that, but they do that naturally. They're just naturally powerful, and they introduce it in a way that's like interesting. With this Captain Marvel, like nobody really cares about Captain Marvel, dude. You look at sales and comics, she's like one of the least popular characters in the whole universe, and all of a sudden she's gonna come out of nowhere and defeat Thanos. Like, I just don't buy it, man. And I've gotten points of view from a white male, a black male, a white female, and a female of color. I've gotten 4 different opinions. They all disagree with Brie Larson. They all are against this movie.
All right. So it's getting heated here. Let's go to the next question. But obviously, this is going to go into kind of what we're talking about. He asked us, his next question is, it's on Valentine's Day. He wants to know our views on Valentine's Day, if we go all out despite how your significant other feels about it, or do you keep it simple or small, or do you even celebrate it? Danny, how do you celebrate Valentine's? You go big baller, or you just go to McDonald's and go, you don't have to order from the dollar menu today?
You know me, Andy, man. I've kind of been the same ever since the start, and I'm glad my wife is on the same game plan. But we don't really do anything, man, for Valentine's. For us, man, Valentine's is every day, man. That's our Valentine's.
Corny as fuck, man.
But to be honest, man, it's just another day, man. It's another day in the neighborhood, and if you need a day to tell you, hey, this is the time to cherish your significant other, then you ain't doing it right, man. You ain't hitting it right. You ain't doing it right. It's supposed to be like that every day, man. It's like every day is supposed to be a special day. And I know it does sound kind of corny, but that's just the way you got to live life. So me and Alana, we still have yet to do anything for Valentine's. Unfortunately, Valentine's Day, Alana was feeling kind of sick, so we didn't really do anything, and we had planned to do something the following weekend. And then that weekend, she was still kind of feeling kind of shitty, so we still didn't do anything. And now this is now a couple weeks after, and we still haven't done anything. We're hoping actually to do something this Saturday, but if nothing happens, dude, it'll just be another day, man. And we'll have a special time when we have a chance, but it doesn't need to be February 14th, Valentine's Day, and I don't need to go and pay, extraordinary amounts of money because it's on Valentine's Day, the 14th. We can do it any day of the year that we can, and every day should be just a special day for your lady.
Wow, Danny. See, Noel, you're rubbing off on Danny here, because in a previous podcast we just he sounds like you, where we discussed like New Year's resolution. You're like, you should have a resolution every day. Now we have Danny saying it's fucking Valentine's Day every day at the Corral household.
Damn right, man.
So yeah, I mean, good. I mean, Noel, what would you do with your significant other, man? You go balls deep in them. You go to Burger King, or you just like just Netflix and chill?
Man, well, I have a unique view on this one. Like it might be not the most popular opinion on this, but to me it's kind of similar to Daniel. I feel like this is a holiday that's mainly meant to market products and sell you something even overpriced than it would be on any other day. Kind of like candy is expensive on Halloween, and all these Christmas lights are expensive around Christmas time. It's that kind of thing. And Daniel has a point. If you celebrate in your relationship your significant other, then you don't really need this particular day. And in my opinion, like if I were to find like the ideal woman that like meets my, I guess, my view on this, she wouldn't even care to celebrate something on that day. She'd be like, why do we want to celebrate along with all the other sheep, all the other people that do the same thing? Let's have our own holiday, our own version of Valentine's, and we could do it maybe at the end of the month or the next month, or what. We could choose whatever day we want, and that'll be like our romantic day. Although there's always romance in the Corral house, man, I'll tell you that. So
Damn right, man. And just my final thoughts, Andy. I don't think you need to even do anything that grand. Like I mentioned, we haven't celebrated Valentine's, but when we do celebrate it, it's usually just a nice dinner. We really don't exchange presents or anything like that. So it's just our company that we try to, take advantage of. And it's not anything grand. Like I don't buy her this pearl, chain or anything like that, anything big, diamond earrings or anything like that. It doesn't, if that's what your relationship is materialistic like that, then I don't know, man, you got something else going on right there. It should just be about the time that you have together and taking advantage of that.
I agree.
Well, my thoughts on Valentine's Day. To me, it is yes, you love your wife or your partner every day, but I think having a day to have that just recognize your love. I mean, it don't bother me none. I'll go buy the flowers. We'll go out to dinner. I tend to I do buy a gift. But I don't know if you go like crazy. To me, that's it's like extreme measures. Like I'm good with just going to dinner. We exchange some gifts, and then and then you do your thing later at the night.
Right, overall, man. When is it steak and blowjob day, man?
I think that's this month, isn't it? March 14th. Seriously,
yeah,
it's a month later, right?
Right. I know they guys kind of made that in a joking way, just because Valentine's is typically for women. But it's good to hear, Andy, that at least you get a gift too on Valentine's. So if you're given a gift, it's good to at least receive one.
I mean, to me, I known you for a long time, Danny. I know you generally don't buy it, or you never really comment to me what you buy. But I know you guys go out, so. But that I'm glad that works for you guys. I'm just a little bit different. But I will get the flowers. I make reservations. This year it was kind of weird because it was during the week. I forgot what day it was. Wasn't it like Wednesday or something, or Thursday?
Yeah, sounds about right.
It was like a weird day, and we just went in like we went out to this local bar here, and we had a heart-shaped pizza. So. And that actually was, wasn't too bad, and we were good with that. So overall, I think going whatever relationship you're in, I think it's between you and your partner. I mean, there's people who don't do shit. There's people who don't recognize it, and there's people that go all fucking crazy, and whatever works for you. But I think it is an important day. You need to tell your partner, that they're important on that day too. To me, I think you have to tell them, like, yes, it's just a fucking day that's made up, but if you tell them how important they are on that day, I think you get extra points that they're gonna keep and remember one day. Like, he did tell me he really loved me on Valentine's Day.
Well, let me ask you this, Andy. So let's say you do the flowers and the pizza, which I have nothing against. That's awesome. And then
that pizza looked great.
It was all right.
So what I mean is, like, let's say you do that every month, but you don't do anything on Valentine's Day. Do you think you did wrong?
Yeah, because it's Valentine's Day.
See?
Yeah, I mean, there is some importance to it. I'm not denying that it's
if you're
man-made.
Your love,
it is an important day.
If you're proving your love to this person every single day, and then you verify it through gestures like flowers, like taking her out to eat somewhere nice, and you do this regularly, like maybe every couple of weeks, every month, etc. You think that's less important than just celebrating one like measly day that's marketed by companies? Like, I don't know, man. That's exactly what Daniel was saying, materialistic. People got to see outside that, man. They got to be like, hey, look at all these other days that your significant other does something for you. Look at all these other days that they prove their love for you. That's what matters. The consistency, not one freaking measly day, dude.
Consistency is important in the bedroom, but a great man told me, who was on this podcast, is one of our co-hosts. He goes, just do, like, when you have those low expectations, just like, man, fuck them flowers I gave you, but on that day you do get them flowers and you go above and beyond, the reward at the back end is a whole lot better. It's like, why you buying that shit? You fucked up. Just get her a fucking something from the dollar store. And then on those special days, like, yeah, baby, I didn't go to the dollar store. I went to Walmart. He goes, I went
to 5 or below.
There you go. You're gonna get rewarded on the back end.
Here's some Bed Bath & Beyond fucking gift cards here.
There you go. But I mean, again, everybody has their preference. Me, Eduardo, I just do a couple things: dinner, flowers, and a gift, and I think you'll be all right. And I think your relationship, you have to have a successful relationship where it works differently for a lot of the people. Everybody has a different way it works. To me, ours, I don't need the gift, but if we get it, cool. If not, I'm not going to be disappointed, to be honest with you.
Cool, man. So I think there's one more part to this, or what else is left on here?
So after that, he finalizes it and goes, just a few thoughts, guys, and for us to talk about. He goes, hope you guys are doing well and can't wait till the next episode. But he does have a postscript.
Oh man, postscript. I didn't know what PS stood for. Danny, man, you're a smart guy. I just never. I must have never heard it, because I imagine I would have remembered that. But that sounds fancy. Postscript.
The only reason I know that, Danny, is from watching movies my whole fucking life.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. No. I didn't read that nowhere. I only know about it, and someone said it in a movie. I'm like, I learned something.
Yeah. Cool.
So he in PS postscript he writes, and also challenges, and he has challenges in quotes, making a comeback again. Like Bird Box Challenge, Hot Pepper Challenge, Hot Wing Challenge, etc. I guess he wants to know what are our thoughts about that. He just throws that in there. What do you guys think about the challenges?
So the Bird Box Challenge, I heard about it. It's ridiculous. It's nonsensical. Makes no sense. There's really no reward. It's like a Tide Pod challenge, pretty much, or like a blow your brains out challenge. Like, I don't really understand it. But the rest of them, though, Hot Pepper Challenge, Hot Wing Challenge, like that's pretty cool. Like, I've done that before. I've done both, the Hot Wing and the Hot Pepper Challenge. But it's more or less just between friends. It's like, hey, you think you could do it? I'll prove you wrong, And then, yeah, I mean, it kind of proves how strong you are. And whether you're a man or woman or whatever, it doesn't matter, but proves how tough and how strong you are.
Right, Andy, man. You remember that 50 Hot Wing Challenge that we had at Hooters, and me, you, and Oscar had to finish them all? Yeah,
but we were young and dumb, man.
Right. That man, we created this this craze, man, because that was before challenges were popular, man. And when we sat down and saw that pile of, I think it was 3 Mile Island, wasn't it? I remember
it was hot, man, because
Right.
the afterward we would have paid the price afterwards.
Right.
The 3 Mile Island or TMI.
And then that other challenge, the one where we got 30 doubles, wasn't it?
No,
right?
that was
Was it the 30
the-
doubles from White Castles?
the White Castle case has 20, right? Or 30. No, they have a 30 case.
Right.
And we were on one of our vendors, and we went to the drive-through, and we ordered 30 double case, and the lady had to do a 30, and like, no, double, and they had to crank that fucking thing out. That was insane, dude. That was, looking back now, it's fucking disgusting.
Right.
Just how many calories was that, dude?
Dude, I think Oscar had like 10 of them, dude, and that's like 20 fucking 20 White Castles. He had 10 doubles.
You did
Right.
Food coma right after.
Yeah, dude.
I guess there's no wonder 2 of the 3 of us have diabetes after all the way we used to eat, man.
But yeah, I mean the other stupid ones, I don't know. Everybody knows, the Kiki challenge, La Chona.
Those are so dumb, dude.
Remember the Harlem Shake? Was that a challenge? Remember the Harlem Shake thing? And then there was one, the ice bucket. I didn't get that one. That was fucking dumb.
I heard there was a lot of like backstory, like conspiracy stuff to that.
I think it was for
Yeah.
charity, wasn't it? Wasn't it to like either you do this ice bucket challenge or you're gonna donate to the Red Cross, or I forgot what organization started the ice bucket challenge thing.
I don't know if you guys saw the new one. I was on Twitter this morning. The new one is pretty. It's interesting to say the least. There people are flipping Crocs, the shoes, and they always land with the sole down. Have you seen that yet? No, have you seen that? Anyone post that? It's like it was big. It was trending this morning on Twitter.
Nah, man, I'm usually not on Twitter, but it sounds kind of dumb to be honest.
They're flipping shoes, and then the Croc always lands on its the sole, the bottom of it. So
When's the recogiendo and doing laundry challenge? When are those challenges gonna become popular?
nah, that's never gonna be popular because nobody wants to see you cleaning. They think it's boring, and there's
Yeah.
nothing to gain from it.
Right. So I guess instead of doing laundry, we'll just eat the laundry detergent. But no, thank you to Eddie for sending that email. It's very cool to see family members and friends sending in emails to support this podcast. And before we wrap up really quick, man, let me just give you some numbers here. Like Andy said, man, we've been getting emails in from 2015, so we've been together for a minute here. And just to give you some overall numbers from our analytics here, we have 7.1K downloads, so that's 7,000 downloads of our podcast here. Our most is in the United States, 3.7 thousand followers in our audience in the US, and the top is obviously Illinois with 612. Next in is California with 288. Some of the international, 47 viewers in Ireland, 44 in Switzerland or Sweden, 43 in German, and 41 in the UK. Just to give you a couple more numbers here, just really quick, not to bore you guys. But the top 10 episodes, episode number 18 comes in as number 1. It was released back in 2015. 278 downloads for that episode alone, and coming in at a close second, 276 downloads for episode number 12. And our pilot comes in at number 3 with 272 downloads. So thanks a lot, man. That's some great love that we've been getting throughout the years. We took a little hiatus in the middle while we re-energize and kind of rebooted our energy and our batteries here. But we're back strong again, and we're hoping to keep this thing rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah, Danny, thanks for the metrics. I didn't know. I know I've seen some of them, some of the numbers. I know. I always found it interesting that outside of Illinois, California, and to this day, I just don't. I don't want to know why. It really interests me why that state gives us so much, support. And maybe one day we will find out. I find it just boggles my mind, that fucking state outside of Illinois. It's not like neighboring states. It's like the other side of the country. And like, I always wonder, why don't we get more listeners in the East Coast either? And I don't know if it's like an attitude thing or we're kind of laid back because the West Coast is normally laid back. I try to wrap my head around it, and I can't really just, put it together.
I dig it, man. Ain't no complaints coming from me. California love all day.
So, yeah, I mean, we want to, again, guys, that's the episode for this week. We love hearing from everyone, even the vegans. So, we want to thank y'all for listening. Remember, you can follow Freeform Network on Facebook and Twitter under Freeform Network. You can send your questions and suggestions to ffnquestions@gmail.com. 99% of all the feedback we got has been email, and the one from the Facebook Messenger. Whatever makes it easier for you guys to give us your feedback, shoot it over Twitter, whatever. Again, visit our webpage at freeformnetwork.podbean.com. There, you see all our links: Stitcher, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Google Music, iHeart, YouTube, many more. That's one thing I'm going to ask from all our fans. I want to know what platform you are listening to, because I know we have analytics to stay what operating system, but it doesn't tell us what app or platform we listen to. I would really like to know that. And again, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. For Freeform Radio, we have Danny.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody, very much. It's very humbling, at least for me, to see all the people take time out and just email, hitting that subscribe and like button, leaving comments. It means a lot to me, because I know naturally when you see stuff, it's easy to just flick on to the next thing. So for people to take the time, I really appreciate it. And, you got all the love from me.
And Noel?
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate the viewership. We're going to keep trying to come out with some great content for everybody. We're going to try to keep it balanced, of course. So it's going to be nice going forward. We're going to take every suggestion into consideration and try to make it even better going out.
And again, we want to thank everybody for listening. We can't, we love everyone. We appreciate all the love that we get, the hate, even that guy for pissing on his cable company. We don't care. We love it. We'll talk about it. And again, we want to thank you all for listening. You guys have a good week. Until next time.
That was cool, Dad.